Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Adult Lyceum here at Cassadaga. We're so happy to have all of you here. Of course, those of you here physically, those of you live streaming, and of course, we always thank Spirit for being with us. Last month, we talked about an introduction to spiritualism. This month, we're going to move into mediumship. The whole month of August, we're going to speak about mediumship. And later in the month, we're going to have a couple of other teachers come in and talk about their journey becoming a medium, and they are registered camp mediums. So let's get started on mediumship. Throughout this teachings today, I'm going to give you some definitions. Just to remind you, a spiritualist is one who believes, as the basis of his or her religion, in the communication between the physical world and the spirit world by means of mediumship, and who endeavors to mold his or her character and conduct in accordance with the highest teachings derived from such communication. We believe in the continuity of life after the change called death. When we are communicating with those on the spirit side, we're trying to learn. We are constantly learning something new. We're constantly asking spirit side to help us in our lives. And that's okay. It's almost like the same as saying a prayer. You're asking for something. The easy part's asking. The hard part is what? Waiting for the answer. Now, there are times when the answer is not always the answer we think it's going to be. And we don't follow the directions from Spirit, and that's okay. Because whatever we don't learn, that will come back around, and we'll have to learn it one day. So let's talk about this. Physically, the physical world and the spirit world. Since the beginning of time, whenever that was, I estimate there's billions, if not trillions, of individuals who've transitioned to the spirit side of life. It's a lot of people. I looked up, we have about 7.6 billion alive on the earth plane right now. So over the years, there's a lot of people who've transitioned that we could potentially communicate with. But then you have to ask the question, who are you trying to communicate with, and why? If I was to ask those sitting here today, what's the purpose of you communicating or wanting to communicate with Spirit, what would your answer be? Corey, I'm going to pick on you. Connecting with whom? I'm going to...
whoever specifically.
Maybe a loved one, family member, friend.
Right. Family, yeah.
Okay. Same. Connecting to family. Now let me ask a little deeper, dig a little deeper. And anytime you could say pass, I don't mean to pick on people. Why? What are you looking for from the spirit side that you can't find on the physical side? There's no wrong answers. Yes, sir.
Well, closure from past trauma?
Absolutely. We want to know, possibly, that, hey, yes, this person transitioned to the other side. They're doing wonderful. Everything's okay. Whatever pain or sorrow they were going through has been lifted. and they're whole again. Is that what you meant? Okay. Anything else on this side of the room? Why would you want to communicate with spirit? It could be just because I want to. I just want to be a little closer to someone who's passed on. Yes, sir.
I've always been curious what life is like on the other side. Is it, is it storybook? Is it all roses, or do they have traumas there? Do they have life problems?
Exactly. We're trying to see what it's like on the other side. So when our time comes, many, many years from now, we can be more at ease and not have this anxiety about moving on to the next plane. Anything else?
For information, like
What kind of information?
scientific or just learning a new skill, finding someone to teach us something.
Absolutely. Very good. So there are those who teach that we have many guides helping us out on the spirit side. There are those who teach that each guide has a specific purpose. If I needed to know something about my health, most likely I would ask a healthcare professional or someone with that knowledge on the spirit side if I can't get the answers here on the physical side. Have you heard of this before? Not all teachers teach that. So typically, when individuals come in for a reading, they want to connect with the spirit. Like we've said, they want answers to problems that are going on in their life. They want answers to some situations they're going through, the validation that life does continue, the validations that their loved ones are doing all right. Now, if I'm a medium, which I am, and you come to me and you ask me, how's Aunt Susie doing? And I just said, Aunt Susie's going to do fine. Aunt Susie's doing fine. Are you satisfied with that answer? No?
Yeah.
Who's not satisfied with that answer? You raised your hand too late, Darlene. Why are you not satisfied with that answer?
I would want more information.
Yes, you do. Absolutely. Absolutely. You would like more information. It would be great if I could tell you Aunt Susie's full name, where she lived, what she looked like, every detail about her, so you know you are connecting with that particular entity. Okay? So when we make this connection, we've got to make sure the medium is connecting very strongly in with those on the spirit side. So we can relay the information in a way that the individual says, yes, that's exactly who I wanted to talk to. That's exactly what I needed to hear. Is there a guarantee? On the medium, you come to me for a reading. Is there a guarantee I could always bring in who you ask? For me, it is not. Typically, readings are 15, 30 minutes to an hour, which is, for us, a long time. But it might take me 55 minutes to get exactly where you want me to be. Then I need 30 more minutes to tell you what you needed to hear. What I'm saying is, when, as mediums, we get into that zone, some go into the zone quickly, some take a little time to get there. We're not all the same. Are we all the same? No.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Will a spirit ever come to you and give you information that you don't want, that they say to not convey to the individual, but they'll still disclose it to you?
Yes. The question was, does spirit come in and relay information to me as the medium? But they'll say, don't relay the information to the sitter. Let's call it the sitter. Yes, but why would they do that? This is just me getting you thinking, that's all. Why would they share something with me that they don't want to share with you?
Because we could potentially alter it if we knew the information.
I'm a firm believer of that. We all have our paths in life. Tomorrow we act upon things we learned today and the things we learned yesterday and the day before. If you come in and a medium gives you a message, you're going to take that information and possibly change something that you were going to do and end up not doing it. Does that change the future? I believe it does. Change it a little bit. So yes. So if a spirit guide or someone came in to talk to me and they said, Corey needs to know this information, but I don't really want you to tell him exactly like I'm telling you, because I don't want him to not do something because he needs to learn something from it. I could take that information and rework it in order to give you the information and the guidance you need, but still allow you to make the choices you need to make. Does that make sense? Okay. We have to be very careful as mediums, the information we give. Now, there are those who say, whatever information's given, give it. Me, I'm just talking about myself, there is some filtering that needs to go on there for myself. Not that I'm hiding information, it's just the way the information's coming through, the information that I give, I got to make sure everything stays in a positive tone. Keep everything positive. Even if I was shown that next week there's a possibility, and I'm not saying this for anyone in here, that you're going to be in a car wreck. I see the car wreck. I would be a little hesitant to say, hey, I see you're in a car wreck, but I might say, hey, I'm seeing you out and about driving, and let's just be careful when you're out there, because there's a lot of other people that could influence your driving and what happens when you drive. So I tweak it a little bit to keep it positive, but not to interfere with your learning also. Okay? Is that bad for us to do? Who thinks it's bad or good or indifferent? Just be honest with me.
It's good.
You don't want to be you don't want to be told you're going to have a wreck next week.
No.
Yes, John. John, talk real loud for the mic.
I've been in this camp for a couple of years, and I've never seen anybody give a stirring warning of impending tragedy, or even a broken bone coming up on a person. And I've always seen like good, happy, joyful, blah blah blah, things like that. As far as forecasts or in the future, I guess.
Well, is that okay?
I guess logically that would be the way to go about it, but I can't see that not happening. I can't see nothing bad not happening in somebody's future.
Right.
In all the years I've been here, I've never heard not one word in that direction.
So, I'm playing the advocate here just for teaching purposes. Would you rather be told something tragically is going to happen?
Well,
I'm
I'd
just
rather be
asking.
told the truth.
Say that again, John.
I'd rather be told the truth.
Okay, fair enough. So if you were to come to a medium for a reading, you could absolutely say that to them. I want to know exactly what they say, regardless. And hopefully they'll do that. Those are good questions. Very good.
Is it your perception that the spirit knows what's going on in our lives, both past and present and future? Like if I have a past father who died,
Right.
and he comes in and talks through a medium to me, does he know, can he see? What is your judgment on that?
That is 2 pages back. Can you hold that question? That is an excellent question. Let me get 2 pages ahead, and if I don't answer it, raise your hand again. Okay, so let's just say, for instance, I use my father. My father is passed to the spirit side. My belief is, as you were on the earth plane, you pass over to the spirit plane. Same personality. Okay? So if there's someone in your life who's passed over, who was really a hard person to get along with, not saying that was my dad, I was just using that example. Someone who was angry all the time, someone who's maybe beat you or did something terrible to you. That's how they transition over. Now, hopefully, once they're on the other side and see their past, they can change while they're on the other side. That's the hope. The hope is always having your vibration raised on this side or the spirit side. So hopefully they are going over to the other side, learning and building up that vibration. But you come to me for a message, and excuse the expression, the SOB that you do not want to talk to, that was horrible to you, that maybe just beats you every other day, comes in to communicate. What do you say? What do you do? I've had individuals say, I don't want to talk to them. I respect that. I move on. But we also have to realize they're coming back for what? Maybe to say I'm sorry. Maybe to say things are different. I see things differently on the other side. And I am learning. But in order for me to grow spiritually on the spirit side, I need your forgiveness. Do you have to forgive them? No. It would be nice to let that energy go and stop holding on to it. Corey?
When you are doing readings, have you ever had somebody come across who had malintent to want to speak to whoever you were delivering messages to?
I have not. I'm not saying it won't happen. Typically, if I'm going to do messages, I do like a prayer. Well, it is not like a prayer, it is a prayer. It's a prayer for me for putting like the white light around me, the God light, keeping negativity out of the reading. The only time I do allow lower level energy into my readings is if the person needs the forgiveness in order to progress on the spirit side. So, to answer your question, for me, I do not allow it.
You don't allow it, but they could.
Could they show up and absolutely be there? Yes. But I can choose to not acknowledge them. I know they're there. I can feel there's something negative about that individual. I know they're there. I can feel it, or I can see it. I won't let them participate. That answer your question? Yes, John.
I believe when you pass away, you become pure. You're not the same attitude, person, mindset as we here on earth have. You know, we're not going through the same trials and tribulations, and we don't have the same relationships and problems. So I think when you're a spirit, you're a pure entity, and I don't think our attitudes or our personalities continue when we die.
Okay.
I just don't see it.
And I respect your viewpoint. If you were to come to me, John, I'm playing the advocate again, and I said I see a gentleman with you, and I talked about his personality traits, on the earth side, you'd recognize him. If I talk about his traits on the other side, you might not recognize him. So I wouldn't be able to make that connection with you. But I understand what you're saying. Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
We have an online question. How do mediums help uplift the individual on the other side?
How do mediums help uplift the individuals on the other side? Lots of prayer, sending good vibrations, talking to them, letting them know, hey, let's work on your vibration. Let's work on some positiveness. Here's how I remember you on the earth plane. Let's get away from that and let's try working this way to a higher self. Thank you. Yes, those of you who are live streaming can put in questions also. So a medium is one whose organism is sensitive to vibrations from the spirit world and through whose instrumentality, intelligence in that world are able to convey messages. So we have to have it within us to vibrate where we can connect with the spirit world. We can hear what they're saying or feel what they're saying and take that intelligence and keep communicating in order to help those who have come for a message. Goodness and character are the result of individual effort, self-control, and earnest desire. Mediumship is the practice of communication between the spirit world and the deceased. Say, last month we talked about the Fox sisters and the Fox family. Through the wrappings, the Fox family was able to spell out the name of the murdered peddler. Through the wrappings, they went through the alphabet, they spelled out a name, Charles B. Rosna. Now, everyone in the community knew a Charles B. Rosna was a peddler in the area that went missing. They knew the name. They knew he went missing. Then the spirit said, I'm buried in the cellar. Okay? Years later, when the wall collapsed, they found the skeleton, they found his peddler's bag with his initials, either name or initials. So they were able to prove, yes, he was in the cellar. Yes, he was murdered. And at that point, they proved communication with the spirit world does exist, and they proved the continuity of life after the change called death. They proved it. The moment you communicate with spirit, guess what? You're a medium. The moment you communicate, you're a medium. Don't let anyone tell you different. Now, can you put up a shingle out here and give messages? No. Because as a community, we certify our mediums, our healers. We need to make sure through our teachings that you are communicating in a way that's going to bring in the higher vibration. Okay? Can you set up in your house and do readings? Absolutely. You're a medium now. You talk to spirit. Any questions on that? Yes, sir.
When you say vibration, what really is that?
Very good question. What is vibration? Just a feeling. I'm vibrating. I feel positive. I feel happy. I show my happiness. I show my positivity. It's a vibration. If I always felt...
Coming from an emotional place?
Well, sure. For me, it comes from an emotional place. If I was always a Debbie Downer, always feeling depressed, always walking around in doom and gloom, okay, that vibration I'm putting out to the world is, it's so heavy. It's weighing me down. I can't get through the day. You know, I'm sensitive to those around me. So if I'm stepping into your vibration, and that's the vibration you put out, that's the vibration I'm going to feel, then you're going to see me start stepping back away from you. Nothing personal. It's just not the vibration or the energy. Energy is another word that I'm looking to be a part of. Does that make sense? Did I answer your question? Almost. Yes.
We have another online.
Online people are very chatty
They
today.
are today. I like it.
We like that. Thank you.
How do our ancestral rituals affect those on the other side?
How do our ancestors,
Ancestral rituals affect those on the other side.
can they rephrase that question, please? What do you,
Go ahead, talking. She'll probably.
all right, rephrase that just a little bit, what you're trying to understand, ancestral rituals. Okay, so let's revisit my opening paragraph. As spiritualists, we endeavor to mold ourselves, our character and conduct in accordance with the highest teachings derived from such communication. So when we are communicating, that is a teaching. We're learning, they're learning. Once you transition from the physical to the spiritual, do you obtain all the knowledge needed? Here we go. To give enlightenment to those on the physical plane. Once you pass over, do you become the all-knowing, everything, grand poobah guru that everyone wants to hear from? No. Not instantly. I don't believe so. Could it happen? Absolutely. But I believe there's that process. Okay, I'm on the other side now. I'm processing that energy. I'm going to learn when I'm over there, hopefully. Did that answer your question? Almost. We're getting there. Did they rephrase it?
Not yet.
So what kind of ancestral, what was the word?
Ancestral rituals.
Yes, sir.
I think maybe what the question's asking, like if you light candles for the dead, or just like certain religions have certain rituals.
Okay, I got you. Thank you. Does it help the vibration? Is that what they're asking? Yes.
How does it affect those on the other side?
I believe it would affect them. What are you putting out? If we're lighting a candle, if we're saying a prayer, what is our intent? Our intent is to communicate. Our intent is to, light a candle for them to have a higher vibration. What is our intent? Whatever our intent is with the ritual is what is going to happen. So yes, your rituals do affect if the spirit side is receptive to it. It's a two-way communication. Two ways. So let me talk about my grandmother. I'm pretty sure my mom's listening.
She is.
She is. My maternal grandmother worked in the citrus industry as a citrus grader and worked in the canning plant. Manual labor. She was a very hard worker, excellent cook. She kept the house impeccable. My grandfather had a vegetable garden, and my grandmother could process every vegetable grown every season. From blanching to pickling, she could do it all. That's how she was raised. Now that she's on the spirit side, and I need some financial guidance. I need someone to help me with my investment portfolio. Would I ask my maternal grandmother for that information? Who says yes? Nobody. Who says no? And what the rest of you say?
I don't know.
You don't know. I believe as you go to the other side, you have that chance to learn a lot of things. You have an eternity to learn. But I personally would not go to her immediately unless she came to me spiritually as an outport or as a materialization. If she came to me in a dream and said, hey, there's a stock coming out called Microsoft. Maybe you want to invest and hold on to it for 30 years. You know, if she came to me like that, I would say, hey, maybe there is something to it. Come on in. Maybe there is something to it. Maybe she was over listening something to someone, you know? So yes, there is the possibility of learning from someone on the other side. But I personally would have hesitations asking just anyone any information. That's just me. I'd probably want to ask someone, I don't know, E.F. Hutton, someone to come in that had that kind of a knowledge to guide me. Any questions on that?
Would you go to strangers, like if you were looking for financial advice, would you go to people that you knew in this life that had passed, or would you go to someone that you got like an old Forbes or an old whatever?
You could try both. You know, who would you go to? Those on the live streaming who didn't have the question. Would I go to someone I knew that had passed in spirit, or would I ask? You could do both, but there's no guarantee that if I'm asking for a specific financial advisor who's on the spirit side, that they're going to be able to come through in that time frame. Now the good thing is, once you put it out to the etheric, I am looking for, I need this. You're putting it out there, your answer is going to come to you. I firmly believe with 100%, your answer will come to you. But the problem is, you might not see the answer that's being given to you. Sometimes we believe that spirit has to appear in front of us or through a medium to give us answers. I've gone down I-4 and saw a billboard, that something in the billboard made me remember something about something, and I got my answer. It triggers a memory, it triggers your answer. So there's answers all around us. But the goal is to relax, meditate, and let the answers come. They will come to you. I guarantee you that. Okay, we're getting towards the end. Is there anything specifically you need me to readdress before we go?
How do you develop this capacity that you have? Or is it developable?
I'll tell you my story. This is my story only. When I was studying, I wanted to communicate with spirit. Now, as a child, I was told, I don't remember, that I would see individuals in my bedroom, and they were frightening to me. So somewhere I put the brake on that, and I started blocking it out. But I wanted to open that up. I was a scared child. So the only place I could find at the time, because I did not know Cassadaga existed at that time, was a metaphysical college in Clearwater. So every week I would drive, I live in Polk County, I'd drive over to Clearwater to take these classes on metaphysical and on mediumship. But actually what they were teaching is psychic ability. So I started off developing psychically. I started off being able to see auras, to see colors around people. And once I started practicing that, then individuals started stepping through. So I used one road to get to the road I wanted to go to. So it's all individual, but you have to apply it. You have to be able to be committed to the meditation, to listening, and to acting in a positive way. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yes.
Another one.
Is it my mom?
No.
It
Okay.
says, are they part of the universal consciousness or only at the level of consciousness that they left this plane, or only the level of consciousness that we are vibrating on?
They kind of all three go together. I believe you go over it with the vibration that you left the earth plane with. Hopefully you're vibrating once you get over there to a higher level, and I'm hoping there is that universal consciousness that you can tap into once you're on the spirit side. But I also believe you can tap into that universal consciousness here on the earth side by meditating. What does meditating look like? Everyone, it's unique to you. I get a lot of messages when I'm in the shower. That's not a normal meditation. I get messages when I'm driving here or back and forth on I-4. Not always the best place to get or meditate for messages, but that's just me. I have to be in a situation where I'm not thinking about something and then the information starts coming. Did that answer the question? Do you feel? All right, we're going to stop today at that point. Next week, we're going to talk about the different aspects of mediumship. We're going to divide them into categories and talk about the different categories. So thank you for being with us today, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.